Alright, this is Crusader Kings 2, and I'm Flying MacGuffin. This is one of the suggestions for things I should do in the meantime before I either start anyone or continue with East versus West, depending on whether, well, the situation brings. Now, one of the suggestions, which I thought was pretty fitting for reacquainting myself with this game, I've played it a lot when it first came out, but I haven't played it since any of the DLCs came out, so that was before Sword of Islam. And I have the Sunset Invasion, but I have it turned off right now, because I'd rather acquaint myself with the normal game first. And I have the Legacy of Rome and the Republic. So, one of the suggestions I thought was pretty well suited to this was playing as an Irish faction and trying to complete the domination of the British Isles, creating the Empire of Britannia. While this is difficult, Ireland is one of the easiest starting locations in the game because, especially as an independent count, a lot of other places you can be independent counts, like Lubeck here or one of the southern Italian provinces, but it's very difficult to play as them. Ireland has a lot more expansion opportunities, and everybody is basically on the same level playing field, with the exception of Munster, who starts as a duke. I don't know about the possibility for the Muslims. I haven't really played as them at all. So, let's pick somebody in Ireland, because this is a potentially quick, easy, and interesting goal, with a lot of stuff going on around us. We will play as... Oh, hey, they have the same house. So this guy is probably his son? Or something? I don't know. And I don't expect me to try to... Holy crap, how the hell would you pronounce that? Well, we're not even going to think about that. Earl is basically the British Isles version of Count. So, yeah. For the Celtic and Saxon people. So let's play as Dublin because he's younger, and we might inherit Leinster or something. These three duchies here, Connacht and Britannia is one, Kildare and Dublin is one, and Ossory and Leinster is one. These three all have two provinces per duchy. This one down here, Munster, has 3, and Ulster up here has 4. So we're gonna pick one of the ones that only has 2. So we'll pick Dublin. Seems like a good starting spot. The future capital of Ireland, as you may know. There's also this one county in Wales, but that seems like a much harder starting spot. Alright, the first thing we want to do is look at our character. He's alright. We got some good traits, and we've got a potentially bad trait, but it actually turns out to be a good trait because it's a bonus to fertility. You start with 3 sons, one of which is very good martial, but he also has good stewardship as well. This guy's quite good. And he starts with the lustful trait, but he's cruel, paranoid, and zealous. And his brothers, wow, this guy's actually pretty good. Just, envious. The red ones are vices, and the green ones are virtues. Red ones are generally bad traits, like slothful here is a penalty to all of your stats, whereas patient is a bonus to most of them. We're mostly worried about this guy right now, Earl Murchad. We're married to our wife Talatu. She's 40. She probably won't have any kids anytime soon. Our heir is Domhnall, that guy we were looking at before, and oh yeah, that guy is our father in Leinster. And his heir is me. And I have a brother apparently here who is a pretty good martial and learning bro. So, I mentioned everybody being basically on the same level playing field, which is not necessarily a good thing. But once you get one province, and I think this is maybe one of the best opportunities to get multiple provinces. See, even the Duke here only starts with really 1. And this guy's a count beneath him. Earl, I should say. In comparison to Crusader Kings 1, things I would say are less easy, in that you can't just spend prestige to attack people. You have to wait and have your advisors do it. On the other hand, there's more stuff to do in the early game. Like, as you can see, we actually have 3 holdings within our county. This is our main holding here, a city, and a bishopric. And these all produce either money, troops, or something for us. And you can build buildings in any of them. So you can build buildings here. These are actually technically vassals. We are... you're not allowed to play as a what are these called? Baron level guys, but you can have them as vassals as an earl, and you can assign baronies to different people. Later on, you can build more holdings, which most of the time I build castles, and you can give them to family members and do that. That's a good way of improving your holdings without getting more provinces, is to, if you have a barony underneath you, you can revoke that. So we're pretty decent for starting character. Most starting characters have really shitty stats. State diplomacy is basically your diplomacy plus your wife's bonus plus your advisor bonus. Your wife gives a certain proportion of stats? I don't remember. Half the skill values, okay. So it's good to have a skilled wife, if you can get it. Much more so than in the other game. The only position your wife can now hold is the Spy Master. And formerly you could get some really broken guys by matrilineal marriages, but I believe that they fixed that. So you could have some ridiculous advisors. Diplomacy is basically how much people like you. Martial is how good you are at fighting and how good you are at maintaining troops. And Martial's stuff. Stewardship is probably the most important stat in the game. It says how much money you can make. It prevents certain bad events from happening, and it dictates your domain size, which is how many provinces you can have, how many holdings you can have, because a barony would count too. Intrigue, which used to dictate how big your domain could be, is now kind of a shitty stat. It's good for plotting and stuff, but a lot of times you spend most of the game not doing that. And the AI is not necessarily one to do elaborate plots. Learning is a stat that mostly dictates tech rates, but the tech rates in this game are basically random anyway. It just gives you a bit of a bonus. They're going to change that in the Old Gods, so I'm looking forward to that. So our starting character's alright. We have a bunch of stats that make people like us. Up here we have things that we need to take care of. We are heirs unmarried. We can create a title, but we don't have enough money. The Duchy of Meath, because we have 50% of the provinces in Meath. Meath is Dublin and Kildare. And actually, the first thing we want to do right off the bat is take our Chancellor here and have him go to fabricate claims in Kildare. I'm not a big expert on this game because I've been out of the game for a while, so I don't know exactly what they changed. So we want to look at what we want to do first. So since we did that, our heir is unmarried, who is actually our marshal, so let's actually do something with him next. Trading troops is the default thing. You can also research tech. I don't like doing that because techs are pretty much random. And suppress revolts. Now, interestingly enough, Dublin has a Norwegian culture. And if we look at the culture thing, they're the only one in the area of Ireland. Scotland has some. In Ireland that has a different culture. Now, the culture groups are basically, you get a revolt risk because you have a different culture group in there. The ones within our culture group, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Breton, and Cornwall is also Breton, we don't get that penalty. It also has something to do with when you conquer a thing, how long it takes to become productive. So just keep that sort of thing in mind when expanding into areas that aren't your culture group. But because that revolt risk is only 1%, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Until it actually rears its head. Now the steward here, most of the time you want him collecting taxes. But as you can see, we have a 13.85% chance of attacking the steward and only an 8% chance of doing something. But the local tax modifier is 30% while he's doing that. So until something bad happens to him, we'll put him there. The Spy Master here... We'll send him to study technology. Now, the study technology thing is a bit better, a bit of a better way to basically steal tech from places. We'll send him to Constantinople. It's a fairly advanced place, but is more friendly than, say, I don't know, Alexandria or Cairo or something like that. And then the court chaplain is much more useful if you have a different religion in your area, which we do not. Or there's heresies, which are of the same religion, but they, they do other stuff. You can also convert your people to a heresy. We might do that. That might be fun. But for now, we want to have him improve religious relations with the Pope. The Pope's an important bro. We don't necessarily want to piss him off, and having his relations higher means that people are less likely to be able to excommunicate us, which is very bad. Now, next is laws. We're in the agnatic, cognatic, Gavelkind. As you can see here, the titles will be divided when I die, and it basically uses the primogeniture law within that. You get no prestige penalty for having unlanded sons, which is actually kind of important, but you can have a 30% larger domain, which does nothing for us right now, because I believe our domain limit is still 1. I don't even have a stewardship bonus, so yeah, it doesn't do anything right now. Women can inherit, but only if there are no eligible males. This is because it uses the agnatic cognatic thing. Agnatic just means that only males can do it. I don't like doing this one because it prevents some inheritance possibilities. Absolute cognatic we cannot do because we don't have the Basque culture. And only basically people from Navarra can have that. I'm not sure why that restriction exists, but it's there. We have a bunch of succession laws. So normally you can't do these, but apparently we've reigned for 10 years and none of my vassals dislike me. Your vassals disliking you is a very important thing to keep in mind when doing this. Now, I actually like the elective monarchy at the beginning of the game. As you can see here, everybody gets a vote. And, that. So basically we need to nominate our son here. He dislikes us because we changed the succession laws. That's fine. I don't care. We're going to actually go ahead and nominate him. Not him. He's our brother. Yeah, Domhnall is still the best. Well... I'll pick Domhnall for now. And then my vassals are basically outrank them so much it doesn't really matter what they think. Technology, I'm just going to go a quick overview. I'm just going to pick the ones that I think are the most important. Legalism here, because it changes the domain size and short reign penalties, which is basically a diplomacy penalty for people. We're going to pick... I like castle infrastructure here, but I'm going to leave it on farming for now, and siege equipment to make sieges faster. This is our military, which basically shows how many troops we have. We don't have all that much. This is the plot screen. Ambitions used to be in the plots, and now they're over here. The little missions you can do. Because most of our stats are below 8, we can pick any of them to do. Usually you want to pick the highest one, but I'm actually going to pick stewardship. We could also choose to have a daughter, which doesn't really do anything for us. It gives us some prestige and piety. Yeah, 10 piety from doing that. From a Paragon of Virtue, which is 500, which is getting 500 piety, but that's very difficult to get. Amass wealth. We're going to be spending our money early in the game, so we're just going to pick improved stewardship, and then once our stewardship is 8, we'll have succeeded at that. So, what else can I do? As you can see, we get the unlanded sons penalty, which basically gives us a penalty prestige. Not that big a deal, though. Our heir is also unmarried. I don't think there's anybody in the area that has a daughter, because these guys don't have a lot of family members. So, let's look a bit further afield. What about Scotland? Scotland. King Malcolm. Oh, his wife is dead, so it doesn't help me. Lothian. She's 4, that's too young. Nope. No luck there. I'm looking at the count of the dukes because they're slightly higher level. Helga Harold's daughter. She's 15, so we actually have to do a betrothal, but yeah, I'll do that. Not too worried about it, not getting much of an alliance from that, but potentially good for stats and prestige. Okay, so they're voting for the same person I am. Now, if you're familiar at all with Crusader Kings 1, you can see that these stats are... I actually did change my domain size. And he accepted. But if you're not... Money... Wealth is money. How much money you have. Prestige is basically you're standing within the feudal nobility. Piety is you're standing within the church. Domain size is how many provinces or castles you have. Or, you know, towns or cities. Domhnall has arrested an armed man with ragged armor and a spotty horse. He says that the man claims to be a hedge knight, but clearly does not believe the statement. You can order the hedge knight released, and Domhnall's opinion will go down by 20. You can gain 5 piety. We can say that it's clearly a bandit. He gains 10 prestige and would lose 5 prestige. Well, fuck you. You release him. We don't want to lose prestige. As you can see, I have 20. And then the score is basically the total of our prestige and piety when we die. It will be added to the score. And our direct ancestors in relation to the character we are currently playing, that we have played, are added to the score. Okay, and now our son's marriage is coming up, and Helga is now available for marriage, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, this happens every time a character who's directly either your character or your heir or something gets married. And collect a royal aid duty. We say yes, it is everyone's concern, and get a minor amount of money, or we can say no, people respect wealth and gain 50 prestige. Obviously, you want to pick the prestige. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good. Okay. No, I missed it, but we could actually have gone on a hunt. And I actually want to do that, but we can only do that during between September and November. So, it costs a certain amount of money, and we can only do it if we're not a prisoner and we're not injured. I want to wait a little bit after that. Well, we'll probably have enough money by the time that comes, because we want to actually build a building. Or 50 gold in our castle. And we'll go ahead and do that. Now, each of these holdings is improved individually. And you always want to improve the one that you directly control first, because you get full benefit from it. Walls basically improve everything about the holding that is important. Levy size, tax income, and fort level. It's a very good basic thing, and we need it for a lot of other stuff. It's also cheap and quick to build. So, it's always good to have that. So, we're waiting until we can do the grand hunt. Hopefully we have enough money by then. How much money do we get per month? Plus 1.2. So we'll be there. It's fine. Do we have any actual plots we can do? No. It's just killing people that are related to us, which you don't want to do because you can get the Kinslayer trait, which is bad. Now, I don't think I went over it, but the game actually starts before the Norman conquest, and that's going on right now in England. It's actually a 3-way battle between Norway, England, and the Duke of Normandy down here, who's apparently at war with France as well. Just bad news bears for Normandy. But Toulouse here wants to get elective monarchy done. Apparently Brittany is having some problems with this bro. But they're probably going to kill him. Edouards. It's good to keep an eye on your neighbors and see what's going on. Scotland's having a bit of fractural problems, but that normally happens. Now, with unlanded sons, one of the things you want to do is if you have any baronies, you want to give that to them, because they're not going to screw it up. They could screw up provinces if you put them there, and there it goes. It gets even worse. So, I mean, I like to keep control of my land as much as possible. However, you can only go past a certain point doing that. So, this is part of the waiting. Oh, yep, we went a bit too far. Let's go on a hunt. These are basically little events you can do, little decisions you can do to... This one is more important for prestige purposes. The feast you want to do later in the game when you have a lot of vassals. And they have some basically relation-changing effects there. Indulgences are basically buying piety from the Pope. And these ones are inviting different types of characters. So go ahead and do this. This lasts a certain amount of time, and we'll have little events pop up. And we get a base bonus to prestige for just having it going on. Or actually we don't. Not that one. The fair you do. And it's basically a good idea to do these when you can. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Such a humble vassal, giving me the honor of his kill from the hunt. He is benefit to my rule, and his humility is an example to us all. Let's thank him. We gained 5 prestige, and he likes us by 40. That's great. And the hunt is over. 10 prestige. That 10 prestige is worth the money to do it anyway. We didn't get any of the really interesting events, but, you know, that happens sometimes. So basically waiting for 2 things. We're waiting for our father here to die, and he's stressed, so he actually might die sooner. As you can see, it gives a penalty to health, which you may notice isn't showing up here. Health and fertility are hidden stats. I'm starting to think Gudrun might fancy me. Who's this? Just a chick. We can make a move. Let's make a move. Because it's the only option. Gave her a good tumble. It's good to be the Earl. Oh, there we go. Earl Mutrad of Dublin has inherited the county of Leinster and other titles from Earl Dermart of Leinster. So now we have 2 provinces and the potential for 2 duchies. But we don't have the money to do it. We have 65 gold, which is good. You can immediately build another wooden palisade. The earlier you build buildings that affect your wealth, the more you will get out of them. So, and Enna is our son. He's an underhanded rogue. And he sucks. Bishop Dubid of Ferns claims that he would be better court chaplain than Bishop Whoa, and petitions that he should be given the title of court chaplain of the county of Dublin. Basically this guy is saying he's better than this guy. And he's right. We're going to say give Bishop, whatever his name is, a chance. What? You a jerk? Okay. So as you can see, I get more votes, so it doesn't really matter what they think. How did the vassals here think of me? Short reign penalty, okay. And this guy also short reign, but he also dislikes me because I'm lustful. Okay. That's alright. And as you can see, we're actually at our domain limit now. I don't really care about that. I'll go a few provinces over that if I think I really should. And we have a grandson now. So the line is pretty secure at this point. We also have a brother and a bunch of other stuff, so we're in pretty good shape. Now once Kildare is, we get the claim on Kildare, we will be able to invade them because we have more troops. Unlike in Crusader Kings 1, you basically have to have a number of attackers higher than the number of defenders, which is bolstered by the garrison here. So basically you have to do twice as number of troops before you can actually attack them, if they stay in the castle. If they don't stay in the castle, then you only need basically the number of troops that you have at the beginning. But, you know, you have to fight him anyway. So our wooden palisade is done, which gives us a bonus. And as you can see, we're getting money quite a bit faster. About almost twice as fast. Not quite. We could do a fair right now, but I don't really like those earlier in the game because they sometimes cost you a lot of money. Ah, looks like my dad has a son. Good old dad. He was lustful too. So, as far as expansion goes, we've done basically all we can at the beginning, and yeah, just looking forward to getting this claim. But I think they can wait till next time. We've got a good session here done, and yeah, I will see you next time on Let's Play Crusader Kings 2.